Hi, welcome back to Crafting a Country Life. I'd like to welcome back my subscribers, and if there are any new subscribers out there that have joined in, welcome, and I certainly hope that you enjoy what you're seeing. This morning I wanted to talk about a project that I just completed, and recently I've been playing around with reproducing some different time periods over the last 100 or so years. I've played around a little bit with mid-century, 1950s, 1940s, a little bit with 1960s with some of my sewing journals. And now I'm kind of looking at the 1920s and 30s, and I found some products that I thought would really kind of fit that 1930s feel in terms of home decorating and decor. And I found some products on Amazon, actually. I did a search for vintage wallpaper and 1960s wallpaper, 1940s wallpaper, vintage scrapbooking. These are some of the terms that I entered in my search on Amazon, and this is what some of the results yielded. I found this book. This is probably my favorite one. This is called Vintage Retro Wallpaper, Junk Journal Ephemera Paper. And I believe a small publishing company. Here's the title page. And this is by C. Anders. And this person has some additional products as well that you can purchase online. Made in United States, North Haven, Connecticut, June 2022. So this is pretty recent. Anyway, this here on the back page, try more great ephemera books from C. Anders. Look up C. Anders, author's page on Amazon. So if any of these interest you, I have this vintage Christmas ephemera book and I love it as well. There's some beautiful reproduction vintage images in that. So anyway, let me share with you some of the images that are in this book that can be cut up and used in your paper crafting. These are so pretty. They're very floral, feminine. Here's the first spread, and they're double-sided. This one has sort of a grayish with some maroon and looks like a black, a little bit of yellow. There's some more here. Look at this, isn't this pretty? Now, it does say that you can use what's in the book, but you would be violating copyright laws if you took these pages and copied them and used them, you know, on a copy machine. So just adding that information in there. So pretty. Oh, I just love this with the eyelet. These remind me of some of the images from the old decorating books and old like House Beautiful magazine back from the 1930s. And you'd flip through those old magazines and see these beautiful, heavily decorated rooms with curtains and drapes and beautiful flowered wallpaper, very feminine. Look at this with the daffodils, purple, yellow, white, and gray. This is pretty too. So these look to be kind of like a full-size reproduction of these wallpapers in here. So that's the first book. I mean, I didn't show every single page, but you know, there's quite a few in here. So that's that one. And then I also found these. This one is called Vintage Floral Scrapbook Kit. These are paper sheets. These are also paper. They're a little bit heavier. They're not a cardstock weight. They're a paper weight, but a little bit heavier than the papers used in this one. So let's flip this open. And you can see the size of the book. I mean, it's not huge, but there's the first page. How to use this book. Okay, and then these are also double-sided reprints of old wallpapers. It looks like a lot of them may be. I prefer the lighter, softer pastel colors myself to work with in my paper crafting. darker ones are nice for some contrast. So I'll just do a little flip through here. You can kind of see, and again, these are a paper weight, they're not a cardstock weight. So they're great for collaging, if you want to tear pieces up and collage them together or cut them up. Really pretty. All work is copyright at Scrapbooking and Mixed Media Journals. So that's that one there. There's the back cover. These, I bought 2 copies of this one. These are vintage Wallpaper scrapbook paper, 24 double-sided sheets. There we go. Some of these look a little bit later. These could be 1950s and earlier. But they really are so pretty. The colors are just gorgeous. The blue and the brown, the pinks. And it's just something a little bit different from the standard types of, you know, cardstocks that you can buy. It'll give you a little bit of a different feel to your paper crafting, but I do love them. Yeah, there's quite a few. So there's that one. And then this one I found, this came up as well in my search. It's called 50s Recipe Junk Journal Pages and Ephemera, 24 pages. And this one has, you know, a cookbook kind of a theme. Ginghams on the reverse side. Okay, there's that. Cakes and cupcakes. Just like a cute 1950s like notebook journal or recipe book. There's the red gingham, and again, these are paperweight. And there are some little advertising icons popped in between on some of these pages too, which is kind of fun. Notes, happy kids. These pictures of mid-century women doing their baking. I think my sister would love this. She really likes the mid-century style as well in her paper crafting. Yeah. Oh, these are so sweet. You can see these cut up and put into a card or a little recipe booklet. All kinds of fun things you could do with these. There we go. Some more donuts, homemade donuts. I love these vintage ladies. Look at her, she's got her hands full of, oh, canning jars. She probably canned all of those herself back in the day. I know my mother used to do canning when I was a little girl. My grandmother had shelves filled down in her basement of all the garden produce, all put up in cans. Oh my gosh, yeah. These are beautiful too. Yeah, so that's a little sampling. I'll flip through the whole thing, but this is fun, and I love the aqua and the red. Really pretty, and then the accents with pink and mint. Lots of fun. The other thing that turned up in the search on Amazon were these little tiny booklets. I'm sure they're from China. You can see the front here. Chinese characters across the front. These have miniaturized versions of antique ephemera. Try to hold that close enough for you to kind of see. Also, these would be great for collaging. Just an assortment of all different kinds of vintage images. These are thin, very thin paperweight recipes. Oh, a little hard to see, I know. These are so small. Here's some Victorian images. I mean, there's just tons and tons in here. And then the second half, these are all printed. These are vintage images that are all printed on vellum. So they look very, very dark. But I think that if you, here's this one over this little bird here. If you mounted this onto a light colored paper, you can see it lightens up quite a bit. So that's the first one. And then this one here, this is another one. Similar, but with different images in it. Florals. Ladies reading a magazine. 1940s, I'm guessing. roughly in that era. Old cars. Aren't these fun? Look at the flowers. Postage, antique writing, more flowers. And then again, oh, there's music sheets. And then the second half, again, these are on vellum. Look at this one, Mother Goose. And these are the paper ones. And then the second half, you can see how first half is paper and the second half are printed on the vellum. These are pretty floral. Yeah. So anyway, those there. And then also found these little packages of, again, these are printed in China, it looks like. Reprints of old, crumpled up, distressed papers. And these all come in packages. Here's some graph and writing papers in here. This one is just plain distressed papers here, mostly in the neutral tones. This one here has what look to be fabric, printed fabrics, you know, cotton calicos and that kind of thing. They're paper, obviously, but wouldn't these be fun to use in your collage work? They're just on little squares and rectangles. So pretty. Look at this one, the little flowers. Oh, just love these. I actually would have preferred having more of these and less of these plain ones. Here's a package of plain ones, all in very muted tones. And then this one here, whoops, just bumped my camera. Sorry about that. And this one has some handmade paper looks in it. So those are the products that I recently received in the mail and plan on using. They just came in this week. So those will be set aside for a project. This is the project that I created that I wanted to share. And this is using the Tim Holtz, which I already have in my stash. So I used these as the base. This is Worn Wallpaper by Tim Holtz. And this one also says Worn Wallpaper Scraps. This one has also some extra floral images in the package. So I did use these for most of this sweet little folio that I made. So I tied it up with some seam binding and just included a little bead dangle on a paper clip here. And then I mounted a ribbon rosette and one of my little wax seals on the cover with a blue doily beneath it. The edge has some cotton laces that I got at AliExpress. This is an old crocheted trim that I picked up at a flea market. And then when you open up the folio, there's lots of room left for doing your own journaling, collaging, adding your own art elements inside. I did stitching around the edges. There are two small signatures inside. Here's the first signature, and these are tied in with some cotton crochet thread. So I created this page here with a little pocket and some old book pages, and then I tucked in a sweet little image. This is from one of these packages that I just showed you here that I got from Amazon. So this, you can see the image here. And then I just mounted it on some of the Tim Holtz wallpaper sample and folded it in half to make a little card. And the inside is distressed a little bit. So there's that, whoops. This is an image here of an old doily. It's on paper cardstock. And then another postcard sheet here. So these can be put right inside. Love these old images. And then on this side, this is the front page of the inside of an old book, and it was signed by the giver to, looks like Eli Starr, 1935, from Miss Vory. So I added a little lace and some floral bits and some washi tape there. So this is the back of that first signature. Here's the second signature with an old crocheted motif on it, some lace, and the wallpaper samples there again. And you open the second signature, a little bit of text, some tags tucked into this side pocket here. This one I embossed, my embossing folder. And just a couple sheets of journaling paper here. There's a couple more tags in there. Yeah, these here. And I put hole reinforcements on them as well. So those go in the pocket. And then we just flip over. This is the end of the second signature. On the back, lots of space to do your own. And then I just added a little textbook doily cutout, some little bits of ephemera. And this pocket here has a few journaling bits in it as well. Doily, little envelope, and then some cardstock with handwriting on it. And back cover has washi tape down the side. This is the washi tape that I used. I've had this. This is from Michael's. I've had this for about 5 years. So it was nice to be able to pull out some of the florals and use them in my project. But I love the way the lace peeks out at the bottom a little bit. I'm really happy with the results on this. It's very simple. It's a small little, make a great gift, or you could use it for your own personal travel journal. And the seam binding just goes right around like this. And I'll just tie it in a bow. So I hope you enjoyed seeing this. I hope to make more of these over the summer. We have another week or so of school left. So I'm looking forward to having a couple of months to play up here in the studio and get some more paper crafting and sewing done. So anyway, thanks for joining me. We'll see you again soon. Bye for now.